Hello, 大家好. Today's guest is BeeRose's from America. She has been living in China for 7 years and shares her life in China on social media. She is also married to a Chinese husband and is raising their child in Beijing. Today, I'll ask her about her life in China, her cross-cultural marriage, and what it's like to raise a family in Beijing. BeeRose, can you briefly introduce yourself, please?
Sure thing. Hi, everybody. I'm BeeRose. I'm living in Beijing, China. I've been living here for 8 years, and I'm an American, and my hometown is New Orleans, Louisiana. That's the south of the United States.
Thank you very much. Oh, so you have been living in China already for 8 years.
Yes, my China-versary was actually just recently. I moved to China July 4th, 2018.
Oh,
yeah, so a big moment, 8 years. But really, it feels like those years have flown by.
How was your last 8 years?
It's been incredible. You know, I promised my mom before I left that I would only stay in China for 1 year, and she reminds me of this so often. And that was really the original plan, but I got to China and I was working here and having a blast. Working here is really such an incredible experience, and I was able to do so many incredible and amazing things. And during that time, I met my husband. And that was just fate, because when I met him, we just clicked, and I felt like, wow, he's really a special person. And we started dating, and the relationship, it moved very fast, but when you know, you know. So due to him, my 1 year turned into 8, and we now have 2 beautiful children, and maybe one more in the future. And here I am 8 years later.
Wow. What has actually brought you to China?
So I feel like my story is so different than everyone else's story, because everyone else had some kind of plan, like maybe they studied Chinese history, or they studied the language, or they had plans to move here and they were going to do anything they could to get here. But I was actually going to get my master's. I was studying geology in the States, and I applied to grad school. I got in, and something just felt not right. I felt like this isn't the time, because I had been going to school nonstop. I was really finishing like right on time, and I just felt like there was more to see. I wanted to go travel, so I needed to find a job that would let me travel, to have like a little gap year before I got my master's. So I joined a company called VIP Kid in the States, and it was just by chance that I found them. Absolutely by chance. This is all fate, because I was looking for a writing job in the States, and I stumbled upon VIP Kid, and they had like a one-on-one teaching situation where the American teachers would teach Chinese kids in China. So I was waking up in New Orleans around 3 a.m., 4 a.m. just to teach these kids in Beijing time, because the time difference is totally different.
Oh.
And back then, I just felt like there's something really special about this company. There's a reason that I have this job. I felt it deep inside, but I didn't know exactly what it meant. But anyways, I traveled the world while I was teaching. I traveled to China, actually, while I was teaching with VIP Kid. The first time I came to China was in 2018, February, during the Chinese New Year. And I also traveled to India while teaching with VIP Kid. And after all of those travels, I figured I would just go back to school. But then VIP Kid actually asked me if I wanted to interview for an open class instructor. And pretty much what that was, I was co-teaching with a Chinese teacher in front of a green screen, teaching kids, like thousands and thousands of kids. And also I was like a cartoon character. I would put on these little skits. I was always some kind of like a fairy person or flower person. I didn't pick these roles, they picked them for me, and they were so much fun. But yeah, that's really what brought me to China, this open class instructor position. And they told me that they needed me in China quickly, so I didn't have much time to think about it. That's when I told my mom that I would only stay in China for 1 year, and I came to China. And one thing led to another. I worked with them, and I worked with other companies, and yeah, that's what brought me here.
Oh, wow. And did you choose Beijing, or somebody assigned you to go to Beijing?
I traveled to Beijing in 2018 in February because I love the history here. But as for the job, Beijing was where it was located. So I didn't really pick the city that I got to live in, but I really believe that fate put me in the right place.
Oh,
So, yeah. It's just where the job was located.
I see. And what was your first impression of China?
My first impression was that it was actually, when I first came here, it was Chinese New Year. So I was wondering, where is everybody? It was a ghost town. Because during that time, everyone goes back to their Laojia, their hometown. But when I came here and I moved here for the job, it was very chaotic. I didn't know the language. And I was really shocked by the people because they were so nice, so incredibly nice and inviting. Everything was hard back then. I feel like things are a lot easier for foreigners now because they want more foreigners to move to the country or travel to the country. But back then, it wasn't as easy. So I really needed a lot of help. And so many people helped me on my journey. And I'm so thankful for all the Chinese people who did, because without them, I definitely would not have been able to do it. So like every step of the way, I had someone helping me.
So you started studying Chinese after you moved to Beijing?
I thought I was only going to be here for 1 year. So I thought like I really don't need Chinese. And I learned, of course, like the basics, what I needed. But back then I was so busy. Like my job was incredibly chaotic and wild. And I was doing live streams multiple times a week. So I really didn't have that much time to devote to studies. But after I realized that I am going to stay here longer, I got a teacher in Shanghai, and we would have lessons every week. So yeah, eventually I did start learning Chinese when I realized I want to stay here.
And how comfortable are you to communicate in Chinese now?
I'm pretty comfortable. I can communicate the basics and just express myself very basically. But as for doing complex expressions, I definitely need to work on it. I can understand a lot, and my in-laws are over every day and they're always speaking Chinese, so I definitely learn a lot from them.
Do your in-laws speak English?
No, they do not, which is perfect for me. It's a perfect immersive environment.
Oh, how about your husband? Does he speak English?
His English is amazing. So that really hurts my Chinese as well, because we always say, okay, let's speak Chinese together so my Chinese can get better. But the moment we start speaking Chinese, we go back to English. Not because like we mean to or we want to, it's just natural. It's the way that we are able to communicate the easiest. So his English is incredible, and he has a very American accent, but he actually never traveled to America before he met me. He was just very interested in American culture and American shows and American music, so he learned a lot from that.
Oh, wow. And then he has never lived in any other overseas countries also?
Yes, he only has lived in Beijing. He's a Beijinger.
Oh, wow. Wow. And how did you meet with your husband?
So when I came to China, I told you I came with VIP Kit, and they brought me to Beijing. And I was working with one department, and another department actually asked me for a favor, and they said, you don't have to do it. You know, it's totally up to you. But if you'd like to, the opportunity is there. And I said, heck yeah, let's do it. I was definitely back then a yes person. I would say yes to everything just because I wanted to experience all that I could. And I was giving a class online to like 4,000 to 5,000 kids. And it was like a 25-minute class. And I thought I was going to be alone. But my husband actually came to help me. He was in like the tech department. And that night it could have been him or could have been someone else, but they told him like, hey, there's a really pretty girl coming. Maybe you want to take this. Maybe you want to help her. He said, okay, sure. So yeah, he was there, and I was just so taken aback by his kindness, also his good looks, very handsome, of course, but he was also very, very kind, and he was not pushy. So I was very interested in him, and also very appreciative that he wasn't pushy, because a lot of the Chinese men that I had met in China had been super weird to me and pushy, who like wanted to like go on dates with me, and it just doesn't work with me. But he was so kind, so respectful, and so sweet. The things that he said were just so sweet, and not in a weird way. He was just very kind. So I thought, wow, that's really special. He's really special.
And then soon after you guys started dating?
Yeah, so after that, I guess I have to tell this part of the story too. He actually didn't make the first move. And I had 2 classes where he helped. And the second class was the last class I knew. And I knew that if I didn't reach out, we would probably lose the connection. So I said, he's someone special. I feel like I need to make a connection with him. So I made the first move and started talking, and we hit it off immediately. Absolutely immediately. It was an instant connection, and we just started going on dates, and things moved very, very fast. We started talking about marriage 3 months in, and I will tell you, I have never, ever moved that fast with anybody. So this was something totally new to me and unknown. I've spoken to some of my friends, and they've told me that Chinese men sometimes do tend to move faster than Western men. But yeah, that was my experience. We were married a year after knowing each other. A year.
How did you feel about that? Like when things go, faster?
I was actually really happy about it because when you know, you know. I knew he was the right person for me. And also he was the first person to ever talk about really wanting a family and kids and being excited to be a dad. And for me, I wanted kids in the future. So hearing a guy talk about that, I'd never heard a Western guy talk about that. I don't even know if they exist, to be honest. And maybe more Chinese men are like him. I'm not totally sure, but I was happy. It was perfect because I knew he was the right guy for me, and I knew he was special, and I knew that together we could be something great.
That's really good to hear. And still, like, you guys are from a very a different culture, right? So what culture differences became obvious after you guys started dating?
After we started dating, I think that food was a big cultural difference because I was a very picky eater in the States, and also when I was living in the States, I was a vegetarian. So when I came to China, I realized that I couldn't stay a vegetarian because a lot of the dishes that we would consider vegetarian here have minced meat on them, like tofu has meat on it and so on. So anyways, he eats tons of meat and also eats things that I was never ever exposed to. So when we first started dating, he tried to take me to eat things that he loved. Like for instance, he took me, I remember, to eat pigeon soup, and I was just so shocked. I said, pigeon? Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're eating pigeon. But now I'm used to it, and pigeon is very delicious. But at first it was a huge shock to me, the food culture. I was not used to it. And also like intestines and like the cow's stomach, tripe. Yeah, it's totally different. And also I would say another cultural difference is that a lot of Chinese people really want to help you, and they will do it even when you don't want the help, because in the West, I feel like we are very straightforward, and when we don't want help, we'll say no. But in China, no means yes. So even when I would tell my husband no, he would probably think I was just being polite, and he would still want to help. So, and also his love language is acts of service. So maybe it's a him thing, but that was also a big shock. And also my in-laws, they also show their love language in acts of service. They always try to help, even when I don't ask for it. And I feel like a lot of Chinese people are that way. They will try and help you even when you don't ask. But in the West, I feel like people are more careful, and they will ask you if you want help. But then I feel like you'll never get the help because the person who is asked if they need help might feel like it's too much of a burden on the other people and say no. But in China, Chinese people, I feel like they just do it. They just help you. So that was a big cultural difference. And it still is today. My in-laws, they still try to help even when I don't ask. It's the things that they see we need help with, and I'm very thankful that they do help. But that was a bit of a shock, for sure.
Do you think the Chinese people are indirect to you?
Well, yes and no. I feel like they can be indirect in the way that they talk. Sometimes you have to read between the lines. But also compared to the West, there are things that are really direct that are shocking. Like, for instance, something that just happened to me as I was coming into my apartment is that one of my neighbors said that I've gained weight, and am I expecting another baby? And I'm like, no, I'm not expecting another baby. And I told her, like, I'm busy, but I haven't really gained any weight, but maybe she thinks so. She hasn't seen me in a while. But in the West, people would never, ever say anything like that because it's just not the culture that we have. So in that regard, Chinese people are way more direct. They will tell you, like, if you lost weight, if you gain weight, if you're pale, if you're dark, if you look like you haven't got enough sleep. So in that regard, Chinese people are very direct. But it's not said out of meanness. It's just the way that people communicate. And I think that a lot of Westerners, when they come here, they get their feelings hurt because they think that there's something mean behind it, or Chinese people should know that they shouldn't say these things, but it's just the culture. It's just the way that things work. So I'm totally understanding.
Yeah. I have the same experience as well. There's a one Chinese friend, like it suddenly told me that, oh, 你胖了.
Yes. Yes. And since I have 2 kids already, people just immediately expect, oh, you got another baby on the way. Cool. Number 3. But no. 2 is enough. 2 is all I can handle right now.
So, how do you usually resolve misunderstandings?
So with my husband, we just communicate. I am a very direct person. I don't beat around the bush, and I don't expect people to read my mind. If I did expect people to read my mind, there would be way more fights, I believe, and that would just... I don't think that's a good way to spend your time, expecting other people to just know what's going on. So I just communicate directly with him, and I expect him to communicate directly with me. And I think that's the best way to go about things. Even if feelings are hurt initially, things will get solved much, much faster. And I'm a person, I don't like conflict. I don't like to fight. I like peace. I like calm. So let's just settle things and let's get it over with. Let's get it done. So anything that may happen, we just talk about it. That's the best way. And also, I keep a very open mind, a very, very open mind. I'm always willing to hear the other person out and see why they thought something was a certain way and just hear their thoughts. Thoughts are very important.
It seems that you are also trying to understand the Chinese culture more too.
Yes, I love traveling and learning about people and learning about new cultures and new places and people. I think one of the best forms of education is traveling so that you can do so. And I have been so blessed to be able to live here and fall in love with a Chinese man and be accepted into a Chinese family and get to know Chinese culture on a deep level. Because I feel like a lot of foreigners who travel here, they will only learn it superficially. And I have a Chinese mom and dad now. Like, it's a deal for me. So I just feel totally blessed, and I get to learn new things, I feel like, all the time, which is incredible. It's such a wonderful experience. I love learning new things.
Yeah. It's the best way to learn things is from your family, like including in-laws. And so, were there any traditions or expectations that surprise you, especially when you are communicating with your in-laws?
So I would say beyond communication, first, like expectations after having kids, there's something called City in the Month, or 坐月子. And that is expected of the moms to do. And if you don't do it, Chinese people will think that you are like intentionally hurting yourself, because they think like all of these things are making it so that you'll be okay later. But the practices to Western people are a bit wild. Like, for instance, you're not allowed to take a shower. You're not allowed to leave the home. You can't drink anything cold. And already the 3 things that I've listed, those are things that Western people do immediately after having a baby. And there are other things too. But I did sit the month because I'm a very open person. And my first birth was pretty rough, pretty hard, my healing. So I didn't mind staying in because I couldn't even really move that well. But yeah, I would say that was a bit of a shock. As for communication, the thing that I've had to get used to is being asked if I have eaten, and also being asked things multiple times. So I did say before that Chinese people won't always ask you, they'll just do it. But also on the other hand, Chinese people will ask you things over and over, because they think you're just being polite if you say no. So yeah, that's also something to get used to. And also, I feel like if you say yes immediately, like to a gift or something, maybe they will think bad things. So I've also had to change the way that I accept gifts. So instead of just like taking a gift or a hongbao, a red packet, I try to reject it at first, which is weird to me because in the West, I just take a gift. I'm like, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. In China, show respect. I reject it. I say, no. I don't need this. Please take it back. I know that they will keep offering it to me, and then I will eventually say yes. So those are some of the differences that I have experienced in the ways that I have changed how I communicate with Chinese people, and especially my in-laws, to show the most respect. Yes.
I have a similar experience as well, especially the hongbao things. So you gave a birth to your children in China, not in the States?
Yes.
How long did you stay in the hospital for?
So I was there, I believe, like 4 nights. 4 nights. Yeah, something like that. And I really didn't want to stay that long, but that was the package that I got. I was ready to go home. But also my first birth was pretty rough. And so it was good that I was there because I was in a lot of pain. But my second birth, I felt like I'm a pro. I've already been a mom. I've been a mom for quite some time. I'm ready to go home. I know what to do with this baby. But a lot of my Chinese friends, they go to the confinement centers and they don't even take care of their babies for the first month. What they do is they focus on healing and resting, and there are a bunch of people who will watch the baby, soothe the baby at night, feed the baby. I didn't do that. I just wanted to go home. Especially, I have a cat. I didn't want to leave my cat. She's also my baby. So, I was just ready to go home. And also, I didn't want someone to have my baby for the first month. I wanted to have my baby because that's my baby. And my baby's going to grow so fast. And when they first pop out, that's the smallest they're ever going to be. So, I didn't go to a confinement center.
I see. And then in the States, after you are out of the hospital, they usually go home, right?
Yes. Yeah, no confinement centers. There's no such thing as a confinement center in the state like they have in China.
I see. In that way, Japan the same. In Japan, usually people stay in the hospital for a week, and then after a week, they usually go home.
Yeah.
What has it been like raising your children in China?
It's been a dream, honestly, because I feel like this is a fabulous environment for children. First, it's so safe. When I go out, I don't feel like I constantly have to be on guard, which I am, of course, because I'm a mom. But in the States, I feel like I'm more on guard just because I feel like there's more crazy people there. And also in China, there are cameras everywhere watching everything. So no one dares to do anything, which is very reassuring to me. And also, I feel like there are so many things to do for kids in China. I am constantly taking my kids to do different things, like in malls or outside. The sky is really the limit. I feel like things are really designed for kids. Kids are in mind always, and I love that so much. There's always going to be options for kids.
I also realized that in China there are so many like restaurants anywhere that are family friendly, kids friendly. So there's one friend who are raising kids in China and told me that in Japan, like they had to use very carefully where to go because oftentimes many restaurants they are not happy for them to take their children with them. But in China, like they don't have to worry about it. They just take their kids with them, and then sometimes the staff will take care of their children. That's their experience.
Yes. The same with me. We don't really think twice about where we take our kids. We just go. We just want to go somewhere, we go. And also what really shocked me in China is that there are restaurants just for kids. And there's a lot of them. And they will serve like wonderful baby kids meals that are healthy, that are safe, that are thoughtful, that are well balanced. It's not just like pizza and burgers and fries and soda. It's like very well balanced, healthy stuff. So I was super shocked about that, to see restaurants like that.
Oh wow. And then like when you use that kind of restaurants, what the parents will do they stay with them or they go to another place?
I just didn't eat anything, but I definitely could have if I wanted to. I don't remember if there were options for parents, but yeah, I just focused on my baby back then and fed them. Yeah, but you stay with your kids. Yeah, the people aren't gonna feed your kids for you. You feed your kid and stay with your kid. But in China, you can order things no matter where you are. So I do believe that some parents could wai mai their food there and just eat their wai mai. That would not be as healthy as the kids' food, and the kids can eat their healthy food. That would be a good idea because that's happened to us at some indoor play areas that we've been. A lot of people will wai mai the food there. They do have food that's available, but sometimes the food there is pretty expensive. So they're totally open to parents ordering the food.
Wow.
What I love about China is it's just so flexible. You know, it's not just for kids. Like it's flexible in general for people. Whatever you want to happen, it can happen. You can really make anything come true as long as you know how to set it up, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And then, yeah, generally speaking, like just as you said, like people are very supportive.
Yes. And yeah, I was surprised that the indoor play area that we love to go to, we didn't have to ask them if we could order food. They told us, you can order food. So everybody is really understanding and flexible. I love that so much.
And so what else do you like about the Chinese approach to parenting?
One of the main differences that I've seen is that Chinese families really come together when kids are born. In the West, I feel like when you have a kid, you're mostly on your own. And the families don't come together in such a cohesive way. And I think that's a big reason why women have what is it called, PPD, like postpartum depression, because they just don't have the help that they need and they're all alone and they feel like they're in the trenches. And that's such a terrible feeling to feel like you have nobody that you can fall back on. But in China, like the moment that I had my son, my in-laws were over helping me in whatever way that they could, cooking me food or letting me sleep or playing with him so I could have like a moment to myself where I could feel like a normal person again in some way, shape, or form. And it's not just my family that's like that. I've seen like, we have a lot of Chinese friends who had kids at the same time, coincidentally. And when we go visit them, their in-laws or parents are always there. So families just come together in such a cohesive way. And sometimes like multiple generations will live together. I think in Beijing, it's more so that people will visit each other in their own apartments. I feel like this generation wants a little more privacy, but for the most part, that cohesive feeling is still there in that way. They will come over and help.
So like there are a lot of family bondings in China, I think.
Yes, you always have that support. In the West, I feel like you almost have to beg people to help you. And when people do help you, you feel like, oh my God, thank you so much. That was insanely generous of you. But here, it's just expected. And the older generation will take care of the new generation. And when they get too old, they expect the younger generation or their kids to take care of them. It's just kind of like a give and take situation.
It sounds like a lot different from the States, I think.
Super different. Super different. In the States, like I said, when the baby's born, you're mostly on your own because in the States, people value their independence and they try to do things on their own. But in China, yeah, it's just been such a blessing to be here and to have so much help because not only have I felt so supported, I never suffered from any postpartum depression or whatever else I could have gone through. I think it's from my in-laws and also my husband. I know that things are changing. I feel like men are more involved in bringing up children, but my husband, like he was my savior. He's the reason that I made it through. He was there with me through all of it. And I can't thank him enough. I really can't. He was there with me like through every wake up, changing all the diapers. And I couldn't move when my first baby was born due to the birth and everything, those details. But yeah, he just made it so that I was able to do it. He's such a wonderful help.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say the same about most Chinese guys, but he definitely is such a huge help.
Sounds like you have a dream husband.
I do, yeah. I really do. Yes.
Well, very happy to hear. So how do you balance both cultures at home?
We celebrate everything. We learn about everything. Double the culture means double the fun. We have so many different holidays that we celebrate. And the holidays that I don't know about, I learn about it with my kids. So we learn together, which is so much fun. So I have bought a lot of like Chinese New Year books or Dragon Boat Festival books, and we learn about it together. And it's such a wonderful way to explore these new traditions. So yeah, we really partake in everything. It makes for a very busy year, I will say, but it's filled with so much happiness and joy. I feel so lucky.
Oh yeah.
It's such a cool thing. I feel so lucky that I am in an intercultural marriage. It's double the fun, double the joy, double the happiness.
That's very good. So that means you also celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving even you are in China.
Yes, because I want my kids to know both of their roots and both of their cultures. So I'm gonna make the magic come alive in China. It's all on me, but my husband, he does help because I help him understand like what we celebrate, how we celebrate it. So he's helping me make the magic come alive. And I'm gonna do that for my kids.
Wow, that's amazing. What about the language education? What's your plan for your kids?
So we had a plan even before my son was born, and that is the Opal method, which is one parent, one language. So my husband speaks totally Chinese to the kids, and I speak totally English. And it's really amazing to see. My son is almost 4, and when he speaks to both of us, he will code switch. It's amazing how smart kids are and how much they can absorb and how they can adapt so fast, because when he's talking to his baba, he will speak in Chinese. And then the moment he turns to me, he knows to switch. He knows. And of course, he'll mix like Chinese into it, but we'll work it out and figure out like what he's trying to say. And I know most of what he's saying, but that has been our method and it has worked out perfectly. And we're going to send our kids to school in China. And I'm going to take on their English education, because in school they're going to learn Chinese, which I think is perfect, because I feel like a lot of American-born Chinese kids, when they move to the States, trying to learn Chinese is very hard, very difficult. And sometimes they think like, what's the point? Because everybody's speaking English around me, there's no need for Chinese. So my kids are in China, they're learning Chinese. I think that's the harder of the languages. And at home, I'm going to teach them English.
Especially
when they're older, more serious.
Yeah, especially like Chinese has characters and we have to remember lots of characters.
Yes, so many. And they're so complicated, some of them. It's not easy, not like A through Z at all.
When you are talking all together in the family, which language do you usually choose?
So when it's just me and my husband, we speak English together. When I speak to my in-laws, I speak Chinese because they don't speak English. And when I speak to my kids, I always speak English. I don't use them to practice my Chinese. Yeah, I want to be their English anchor. So yeah, I kind of switch. So in-laws Chinese, husband English, my kids English.
And then when your kids and your husband are all together and they, having a family conversation, like English only or Chinese only or kind of mixed?
Oh, it's mixed because like my husband will speak to them in Chinese, but I can follow what he's saying, so it's not a problem. So like I will join the conversation in English. So it reinforces like what the kids are understanding in Chinese, and then they can hear it in English as well. So like my Chinese understanding is really high, I would say. So yeah, we're just able to just flow through it. We flow through it.
Wow, that's amazing. And I also would like to hear about your job as a content creator. What inspired you to start creating content?
So actually, before I was a content creator, I was writing children's books with a company. And I love writing. I love it so much. I told you that when I was searching for a job that I could do on the go, I was looking for a writing job. It's one of my passions. It's something that has always come very naturally to me, and it has been such a great creative outlet for me. So working with this company, I was able to be creative and have that outlet, but I was also put within their confines of what they needed and what they wanted. And I was able to do so with ease, but there was a part of me that wished I could create whatever I wanted to create. I mean, who doesn't want to? So my husband was actually content creating back then, and he and I would try to make videos for his channel, but with my job, I was so busy, so busy. And also when my son was born, there was just no time. So my husband and I got together and we decided to take a risk, and it would allow us to work together, try to content create together, to express ourselves in ways that were authentic and ways that we wanted, and most importantly, spend more time with our kids. Because the job that I was working, I was commuting 40 minutes one way, 40 minutes back every day. It was a lot of travel, and also I was there from 10 to 7. So that meant like all of that time was away from my kids. So now as a content creator, I can be way more flexible because I'm in charge of my schedule. So that has been a huge plus. And I love Chinese history and I love Chinese culture. And I really feel like I've been blessed. My entire situation is just full of blessings. And I want to share everything that I've learned with the West, the things that they have never heard. Because in the West, they are told things that are not true about China. It's getting better, but in the past, it was definitely really bad. And there's so much beauty about China, and the people are so kind and incredible. And there are so many untold stories in China. So I really wanted to be the bridge between the two countries in any way that I could. So I almost felt like a calling to do so as well. Oh, wow. So yeah, it's kind of like a lot, but that's really the gist of why I wanted to be a content creator. And as a content creator now, I do that. I make tons of videos about Chinese culture, Chinese history, the people here, my daily life, what things look like, what raising kids are like. We really cover all bases.
Wow, that's amazing. So what's the biggest misconception people outside China have, do you think?
I think the biggest misconception that I saw was that people think that life in China sucks. In the West, a lot of people are struggling, and they can't afford healthcare, they can't afford food, they can't afford to have kids, and the way that they're living is just not ideal. And I think that the way that the Western media keeps people calm is they say, like, your life is really good here. Actually, in China, things are terrible. That's the way that they calm people down. But actually, when the TikTok refugees came to Xiaohongshu, back when TikTok was banned, they realized that everything that they had been told was a lie. And I think that really broke down one of those big misconceptions for a lot of people. Not all, but a lot. That was like a huge aha moment for some people, realizing that life in China is really good. And people have a lot of benefits, and the government really cares about people, and they can afford basic health care, and they can have kids easier. So yeah, I think that has been the biggest misconception, that things are awful in China, that life for people in China is awful, when in reality, it's pretty great.
You knew it because you started to make a living in here, and then you actually saw and experienced everything.
Yes, and a lot of people like to say that where I live is not the real China. A lot of people like to say that you have to go out to rural China to see the real China. And also, I have seen online that people say that the visa that they give to foreigners to come into China, it's not long enough to actually let them see the real China. And that's just nonsense, because I have been to rural China several times, to many different places all over China, and people are living good lives there as well.
How did you feel when you went to the rural side of China? Of course, it must be very different from Beijing, right?
Yeah, it's totally different, absolutely different, the way of life. But I felt like everybody has a place to live. There's no homeless people, there's no suffering, and they have everything that they could need to have a happy life, and they have their family around. And also, if people want to seek bigger and better opportunities, they come to the city. A lot of people will have family members who go to the city, and they'll send money to the rural areas. So yeah, it's just a totally different way of living.
I guess the Beijing people are more used to the foreigners, but how about when you met the people in rural area? What's their reaction to you?
I definitely feel a huge difference, because in Beijing, I feel like not many people give me a second glance. When I first moved here in 2018, they did notice me more, but I feel like things have become more normal, like in regard to foreigners coming here. But when I go to the rural areas, people are definitely really interested. And also, a lot of people, there's a chance I'm the first foreigner they've ever seen in their life. So they want to take pictures, they want to ask where I'm from, and they just want to have a conversation. And I'm always so happy to do so because I want to give the entire foreign community a good name and show them that foreigners are kind people, because we are.
And I see that more and more Western people are traveling to China these days.
Yes. Due to China's new visa-free policy, it has become so much easier. Because when I first came here in 2018, it was incredibly difficult to get a visa. And I had to pay a lot of money to get help to even sort out my visa. So they have made it so easy for people, and I love that so much. They want foreigners to come here. They've opened up, and they've also made it so that when they're in China, things are very simple. Like it used to be that hotels could reject foreigners. Now they don't do that anymore. So China has really opened their arms to welcome foreigners coming here.
And then especially when you go to the bigger cities like, Beijing or Shanghai or other cities, we could always find the signs in English. So even if the people cannot read Chinese, they could still understand.
Yes, it's funny that you mentioned that because I'm actually in the process of making a long video right now about how Shanghai is the easiest city to travel to in the world. And one of my main reasons is that everything is in English. I've traveled all over the world, so I've seen what situations look like abroad. And for instance, like I traveled to Russia and nothing was in English that I could find. And it was so overwhelming and intimidating. And China and Shanghai, it's so easy. Everything is laid out for you, and it's a dream to travel in. You almost don't have to think that much. You just flow with it. You just go with it.
And then the people in Shanghai knows how to deal with the foreigners as well. So
yes, they do. And they're so accommodating and so helpful. Because when you travel to other foreign countries, people don't want to speak English to you. They think, you're in my country, you speak my country's language. I especially experienced this in France. French people think if you come to France, you should speak French. In China, it's different, especially Shanghai. Even when I try to speak Chinese, they speak English back to me. So it's one of the worst places to practice your Chinese because people are just super accommodating and they try to be so helpful to you. Try to make it so that you feel very comfortable.
That's interesting. In Japan, people don't mean that they don't want to speak in English. They just cannot because they cannot speak English. So some people still try to, but some people even cannot give a try, so they just try to keep on speaking to them in Japanese or just gesturing, or even if it's from the Chinese speaking country, they just write in Chinese characters so they could read.
That's totally different. Like if they can't speak English, but in France I experienced people who could speak English but they didn't want to. They thought they shouldn't. They thought I should speak French. So just a totally different atmosphere there.
So what values do you think Americans and Chinese actually have in common?
So I think deep down that American and Chinese people are really kind, and we all have a want to help people. And I think in China, a lot of the infrastructure for doing so is there. It's built. Like I know that there was flooding recently, I forget where, but I just remember seeing a lot of videos pushed to me about how fast the response times were and how people were saved so fast. And in the States, I feel like people want to help and do what they can when things happen or just in general. But I feel like there's not always avenues to do so. So people have to get together and make groups themselves or independently to help. So I think that we're kind. Deep down, we're both kind. I see that very deeply. We're good people. And I think that if allowed to do so, Chinese people and American people could be really good friends, really tight. But I feel like in the past, there were never ways to make friendships. The only way that I saw, and it was groundbreaking to me, and I felt like I was seeing history being made when the TikTok refugees came to Xiaohongshu, because I felt like that was one of the first times that Chinese people and American people were actually able to interact, and they were all happy to do so. And I feel like so many friends were made.
Yeah. I totally agree that the Chinese people and American people are both friendly. And to me, American people and Chinese people are two of the people for me to easy to make friends to. So,
yes.
you know, because they are so open from the beginning. So for me, very easy to talk to them.
Yes, I agree. Both are very easy to talk to. Totally agree. Chinese people are so easy to strike up a conversation with. Although the small talk is very different here. Yeah, it's very easy to talk to Americans or Chinese people.
So next question, how did your impression towards China change after you started living there?
So all of my life, I had been told things about China, like what to believe and what to feel. But I'm the kind of person who always stays very open. And I have always been the kind of person who doesn't want to believe things that I'm told straight up. I want to either read about it scientifically, or if there's no science behind something, I want to go and see it for myself. I want to see it with my own eyes, because that is the best way to learn about a place. So, and also I know there's a lot on the news about China, but I don't watch the news. I don't like the news. I always felt like weird vibes from the news in the West. So I never was a consumer of that. Yeah, I never really had too many strong opinions about China, because I always felt like I just had to go and see it myself. And what I did realize though when I got here is that everything the West had said was wrong. And then it was even crazier for me to see what the West continued to say about China while living in China, because it was just so outrageous and just like so many blatant lies. So yeah, living in China has really opened my eyes to the truth. And I think that if you're listening now and you want the truth too, come to China. The best way to see the truth is to come and see it with your own eyes, meet the people, see the places, go to rural China, go there. You do have time on the visa-free thing. Come, see it for yourself. Don't believe anybody, just believe what you see in yourself. Truth will reveal itself.
Yeah, I was the same. Before I go to China, because all I could get the information was from the news or somebody else. I didn't have a good impression about China. But once I go there and see it by myself, my impression changed like 180 degrees.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very good advice to the people. Okay, so the last question. Is there anything that you would like to do in China in the future?
See every place I can. I think China is so beautiful, and I want to travel. My husband and I have actually talked about getting an RV, putting the kids in, and just going and traveling everywhere that we can. I would love to do that. And I have thought about trying to teach people in the West more about tea culture in China, because I love Chinese tea, and I think Chinese tea is absolutely incredible. And there are so many different kinds, and the way that you drink it is so specific and special and cool and fun. And also it can be really calming and relaxing to partake in like these tea ceremonies. Even at your own home, it's such like it's almost like a meditation event for me. It really calms me down. I want to share that with people. So hopefully in the future I can find a way to do so. And beyond that, maybe have more kids. I have two now, but I want more. It's just it's a lot. Kids are a lot in the best way. But yeah, I want to maybe let my kids grow up a little bit before I have more kids. But yeah, have more babies. Make more content.
Yeah. Must be so much fun.
Yes. They have brought so much joy and happiness to my life. I can't imagine life without them.
Wow.
They are my everything.
Oh, that's very good to hear. I'm so happy to hear that.
And I didn't even mention like my kids. I have a son and a daughter. My son, he is almost 4, and my daughter is almost 2. And my son's name is Levi. My daughter's name is Aaliyah, and they're just so wonderful. They are little angels, my babies. We're thinking about making a baby account just for them, because right now the focus is just on me. I want them to like enjoy being a kid and don't want to put them on camera too much. And also my kids, I don't even have my phone with me. I just focus on them. When I'm with them, I'm just with them. My phone is in another room. So yeah, maybe one day when they're a bit older, we can do the baby account, but it's mostly just me who shows up. Just me. and my husband.
I'm looking forward to upcoming videos.
Thank you so much. We have a lot of really exciting ideas and things planned for the future. And I get so excited about making it and sharing it with you guys. And everything that I make, I put my whole heart into. So I hope that people who watch my videos can really feel that, because that's my heart. It's in there, my whole heart.
I could feel your passion. So yeah, like keep up with your great work.
Thank you so much. That's really kind. There's some people who will say like mean things about me getting paid to say the things that I do, but in all honesty, I say the things that I do because I love China. I love the culture, and my life is incredible, and I feel like I've been so blessed, so I just want to share with everybody.
I can feel it. Yeah. Thank you so much, BeeRose, for sharing your story.
And thank you so much for this fabulous interview. I had so much fun sharing all of that.